Hey, beautiful souls. Got a message today, but it is directed to a particular group of individuals. That is to the individual that has undergone abuse. So if you haven't undergone any abuse, it probably won't resonate with you. If you have, I'm sorry. Nobody deserves to go through any kind of neglect or abuse. And that's ultimately what abuse is, right? It's neglect. Power, control, struggles, manipulation. It can come in a fashion of multiple different ways. Some people are born into abusive families. Some enter into relationships. It comes in a lot of different ways. And the transcending and healing of that is also done in multiple stages as well. I know education helps a lot because the victim survivor has a tendency to want to beat themselves up. They hold a lot of accountability and feel dumb, and they're fighting cognitive dissonance. I'm going to link a video to that of what a person undergoes during the Stockholm Syndrome. It is more directed towards that romantic engagements kind of relationship, but it still talks about the neurology. And if at minimum, just know that the battered person that keeps on going to the abuser or whatever it may be, it's a program. It's programmed in the mind. Anybody that undergoes abuse and gets to that point, please know, you're completely normal. This is how, it's just the way our brains are wired. Normal people, normal brains wire and adjust under abnormal circumstances. So, you're normal. No more beating yourself up, please. The message is directed towards, so while there are very many different multiple stages, healing goes through, this part message is for the individuals that are at a very crucial point of the healing. Actually, probably the most tender spot, which makes it, I'm just praying that Spirit gives me the right words. It is for the individual that has come to acceptance of what is, and is also fueled with a lot of hatred, which is completely normal and completely fine. There's the fight to avoid the pain, though you will never be able to fully avoid it, especially when you're suppressing it. It makes it worse. And I say that gently. But that's not what this is about. First and foremost, it wasn't your fault. The abuser saw something in you. They saw your light, the beauty, and the way you radiate. They saw something that they so desperately wanted it within themselves. And you were a victim. And I know that can cause a lot of ruffles and people can go off about that. But here's the facts. Self-love, discernment, boundaries were foreign to you. you didn't know any better. Nobody enters into a relationship or any kind of dynamic thinking, ooh, I'm going to go get abused. You're lured in. There's love bombing. There's the ups and downs. You were a victim. You were targeted for your light. And like little energy vampires, they try to suck that out and hold it for themselves. Problem is that they have a little hole in their bucket, and no matter how much you give, it's never enough because they have their own lessons to undergo. And if you are ever wondering if your abuser will ever get their karma, they live it every day. They don't know. They will never, until they fully go through their lessons. And I'm not judging or anything of the sort, but through my own downloads and my own healing and being involved, happiness is non-existent to them until they go through those lessons. What they live is very superficial happiness, very fleeting, and that's maybe why they're almost in their own addiction of trying to find supply, because it's the only way that they can feel better. And you were one of the supply buckets. And I'm sorry. So you were a victim. The fine line is that of hurt people. And if you are in this part where you hate the world, especially that of your abuser, it's completely normal and it's completely fine. However, the message for you that Spirit so desperately wants you to remember so you can go in, so that you're able to go in and fully discover those things and transcend and go through your healing. You've been brainwashed. It's very hard. It's a very hard place to be. To believe that your self-worth is shit and that you are not worth anything. And then on top of it, you're fighting cognitive dissonance and dealing with probably CPTSD and constant paranoia and your life, your mind. Especially at this point where you come to terms with what it is, and if you're in limited or no contact, but still filled with a lot of animosity, your mind has a tendency to definitely fester over that, making it feeling very near to hard to nearly impossible to be able to move forward. And that's normal too. Completely normal. And what Spirit would like to bring forward in this is to, I believe, in conversation, is to help break this cycle. Your abuser hurt you because they're hurt. And you can tack on all the other names that they are as well. But somewhere they underwent abuse, more than likely. And they never healed. And they leached on to other people, including you. The thing is that that light that they try to extinguish out of you still very much exists, even if it's just a flame. You've been brainwashed, and maybe you need a reminder. You are loved. You are loved, but you are loved. You are bright. You are part of the divine. There's nothing that they would like to see more than for you to help you transcend through this. The anger and the bitterness that you hold on to, while it acts as a shield to protect you, it's also eating you alive. You are beautiful. You are powerful. You are loved. You are loved. You have a light so bright. And though you can't feel it right now, easing into the healing process, letting them help you, surrendering to the pain, which is very much different than giving up control. You don't give up, you just surrender, which is two very different things. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Your soul can fully be rejuvenated, what's the word? Brought back. There's only some lessons that you take. God, it's such a hard message because we're talking about a very, very critical part of healing. And nobody really wants to hear that necessarily, but I'm being encouraged that somebody needs to hear this. You need to be reminded of how beautiful you are, how amazing you are. You've been brainwashed. Fuck that. You radiate with the divine. And you may not see it right now because of that bullshit you endured. But through your healing, learning to love yourself, you'll remember. But if we hold on to the resentment, the anger, we're no better than they are. Hurt people hurt people. You can be hurt and you can rise above. You are very much a victim, however, you can turn into the 100% survivor. And this message is resonating with you. You're meant to be a survivor. That took a lot of trying to walk on eggshells because I know how sensitive it is to deliver that. Especially if you are in that part of healing. They so very much love you. You're a warrior and you don't know I love you. I'm sorry. I am sorry. But you are beautiful. I believe you were 100% target because of the beauty and radiance and the blessings and the light you bring to this world. It's time to reignite that if you can. And come back stronger than ever before. Because that means the things that would be foreign are no longer foreign.